بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Alhamdulillah, والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. My name is Mushabbab Al-Assiri. I'm professor of radiation in the Faisal University and consultant radiation oncologist in King Fahd Medical City and Saudi Proton Therapy Center. First of all, I'd like to thank Professor Maglad for inviting me to give this speech about Saudi Proton Therapy Center. As you know, all radiation therapy is well-established treatment for cancer for more than a century, and almost 60% of all cancer patients will require radiotherapy at some stage of their journey with cancer for curative or palliative intent. And there is so many types of radiation, photon and particle radiation, including electron, proton, neutron, and heavy ions, which used over the last 100 years all over the world, and it is an ongoing improvement to improve therapeutic effect for radiotherapy and to cure more patients. As you know, all the physics of radiotherapy related to the interaction of radiation with the human tissue, where the energy deposited in the cell causing DNA damage, which leading eventually to the cell death. While cell death is good for killing tumor, and also it is bad for normal tissue. All of us as radiation oncologists like to improve therapeutic effect by improving the side effect and optimizing the dose over the tumor. The photon therapy, as you know all, has a high dose and entrance near the skin, while it is losing energy as it travels in the human body, and maybe 20 to 30% of the dose will reach deep tumor. That's physical properties led to more complication beyond the tumor, especially for the tumors where it's surrounded by critical structure like the base of skull or spinal cord or brainstem or eye, where you cannot save the critical structures beyond the tumor. And as you know, as radiation oncologists, we like to reduce the dose for the normal tissue and optimize the dose to the tumor. Proton is the positive particle of the hydrogen. You know, the hydrogen has one proton and one electron, has no neutron, and it was discovered a long time ago by Rutherford in 1919 when he made his model about the atom. And from the hydrogen atom, we have the proton, one electron, and that proton get accelerated to reach the speed of light. Of course, it will not reach the speed of light, but sometimes like up to 50%, 60% of the speed of the light. It gets activated by magnet to increase the energy of the proton by around 10 billion times of the energy of the proton at room temperature. To accelerate the proton to this high speed and high energy, we need a machine called cyclotron, which accelerates the proton to the speed of some time 0.6 of the speed of light. Through the cyclotron or synchrotron, there is so many complex accelerators available in the market. Most of it is by IBA or Varian, and also Hitachi or Mitsubishi. They have also different types of cyclotron, and it is very complex technology and very expensive and bulky. The aim of that to have the nice property about proton, where it is depositing most of its energy at the end of the path, or at the end of the range, around 10 centimeter. Sorry, I mean 10 millimeter, 10 to 20 millimeter of the range of the proton beam, will deposit the most of the energy in the tumor. By getting that, we will be able to save structures behind the tumor, and optimizing the dose of the tumor itself. This is called Bragg-Peak effect, where most of the energy will be deposited inside the tumor. We're getting that by technology called pencil beam technology, where we get the spread out Bragg peaks, so we can treat the tumor on pieces to escalate the dose at the tumor and saving the structure beyond it. By doing that, we'll be able to save the structure beyond the tumor. As you can see here, comparing the photon to the proton, you can see there is little dose at the exit side of the proton. The beauty of the proton, that you able to prevent the complication, improve the local control. Also, it reduces the secondary tumors because of the nice homogeneity, and reducing the normal tissue exposure for the proton. Also, you can use it as for the patient for re-irradiation. The technology is started around 60 years ago, or sorry, 70 years ago, by Robert Wilson and Lou Melinda, and was the beginning for the research, and now there is more than 90 centers in operation worldwide, and more than 280,000 patients being treated, according to the BTCO statistic published in 2021. There is many centers under construction. Our center is in Riyadh, is among the steering committee of the BTCOG, and we hope to open our center this year. The center in Riyadh will be the only center in the Middle East, and we hope to cover the need for the region in the future. As you can see, that most of the centers are in North America, Europe, and China, and Korea, Japan. There's one center in India. There is no other centers in Middle East or Africa. This is the statistic for patient treated, as I mentioned before. There's around 300 new patients treated by carbon ion or a proton, and by proton is around 280,000 patients around the world. And you can see there is a steady growth on the patient that treated by proton worldwide. Component of the proton center, usually the accelerator, which is the most sophisticated piece of the proton. It is one piece of metal with a huge magnet, where the proton get accelerated to the right speed and the right energy, and from there is beam line where the proton is moved from the cyclotron to the treatment gantry. The treatment gantry is a huge piece of metal, around 200 tons, and it's usually rotated around the patient. We can see some picture about gantry on the coming slides. Proton is useful for organ sparing, especially for small tumor in critical areas like skull base, also for small tumor like prostate or focal hepatocellular carcinoma or pancreatic tumor, where the patient is not a candidate for surgery. Also, it's very useful for pediatric malignancy to reduce the side effect of the radiation. Also for the complex geometry like ocular melanoma, paranasal tumor, lung tumor, and also for large target volume like medulloblastoma of the children, where we treat the cranial-spinal area. There is so many literature and evidence base for using proton and uveal melanoma, where you can save patients from blindness and inoculation with a success rate up to 90% to save patient eye and vision. Also in the complex anatomy like skull base for pediatric and for medulloblastoma, where we usually have extensive and bad reaction related to the growth and skeletal deformity and endocrine problems, including sex hormone deficiency and others. Second malignancy is rare with proton if you compare it to the intensity modulated radiotherapy. The risk of radiation-induced radiotherapy sometimes reach 15 to 30%, while with intensity modulated proton therapy is only 4%. I'd like to keep also proton is very useful in lung cancer and prostate cancer, paranasal sinus, and also, as I mentioned, there is low risk of second malignancy when you treat with proton. Breast cancer, also you can reduce the heart dose and lung dose. Esophageal cancer, this is the standard of care now to reduce the heart dose and reduce the chance of pneumonitis. As a previous indication for proton, ocular tumor, spinal tumor, CNS, base of skull, early hepatocellular carcinoma, and pediatric tumors, paranasal sinus, or rare radiation. There is also relative indication for when you need to escalate the dose, and even for all head and neck tumor if you like to reduce the chance of xerostomia. It is cost effective in the long run because it reduces the long-term complications. And because of that, Saudi Arabia thought of building a proton therapy center in Riyadh. We started this project after the approval of the king around 2011, and we started the project where it is located in King Fahd Medical City with the cost of around $300 million or 950 million Saudi riyals. We have one of the largest centers in the world with the 3 rotating gantry, 1 fixed beam, and 1 eye treatment. And we think that we'll be able to cover the need for proton therapy in the region. The project started and signing the project and planning part took about 2 years, and the project launched in 2013. And you can see it is a very complex project with heavy machines and high technology. We think that we'll be able to cover the need of Saudi Arabia and the Gulf, and probably the region of Middle East with radiation facility, and we'll be working as a hub for proton therapy on the region. The Minister of Health visited the site, and also high delegates from different institutions, and you can have more information on our website. This is a picture taken from our center in Riyadh. This is the cyclotron and the gantry. Where you can see the big machines and heavy machines. This is the treatment room. This is the treatment control room, which is similar to a true beam This is the main control room, and you can see there is a lot of civil work on the site with very complex chillers and cooling systems. Also, we have clinics for the proton therapy patients. This is the CT simulator, which is similar to the standard CT sim of the photon therapy. This is the site of the project once it's completed, and we are hoping to be operational this year, inshallah. We published the Saudi Arabia guidelines for proton therapy center in Saudi Medical Journal, and we are part of the BTCOG group. This is some of the milestone for the project, and this is the project in the beginning. We can see myself, Professor Bayoumi, Dr. Ataif, Dr. Sergi, and this is Dr. Amro, who was behind the project in the beginning. Myself, Dr. Hussein, and Dr. Ali Balbeid. We are working this project for the last 10 years, and we hope to recruit a patient this year, inshallah. This is the end of my talk. I'm sorry that I'm very fast because I was given only 15 minutes, and I'm happy to repeat the lecture for the resident for over 1 hour with more details. Thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy the conference. Thank you.